There is a very specific, very visceral feeling you get when you're stuck in traffic.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean the kind where you're rolling slowly. I mean the gridlock. The parking lot on the highway.
Total standstill.
You are sitting there, the engine's idling, you're staring at the bumper in front of you, and you have absolutely no idea if you're going to be there for 5 minutes or 5 hours.
The uncertainty is always worse than the delay itself. If you knew it was 20 minutes, you could relax.
Right.
You could listen to a deep dive.
Exactly.
That's the not knowing that drives you crazy.
Exactly. It's the limbo.
Uh-huh.
And for the last few years, millions of people in the Pi network ecosystem have been sitting in that exact digital traffic jam.
Mm-hmm.
They've done the work. They mined the crypto. They submitted their documents. They did everything they were supposed to do. And then silence. Just a spinning wheel. A status that says pending for days, months, sometimes years.
It has been the single biggest friction point in the entire project, the infamous KYC bottleneck.
Well, welcome back to the deep dive. Today is Saturday, January 31st, 2026. And the reason I am starting with that traffic jam analogy is because yesterday, January 30th, the PiCore team didn't just open a lane, they effectively blew up the roadblock.
It really does feel like a dam breaking. We aren't talking about a small patch here or a minor bug fix that helps a few thousand people.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking at a fundamental shift in the population metrics of the network.
The bottleneck is gone.
It's effectively gone, for this huge group anyway.
We have a massive technical update in front of us titled Unblocking Millions for Migration. And the numbers we're about to walk through are, frankly, staggering. We are talking about a population roughly the size of Chicago or Toronto suddenly getting the green light to enter the economy all at once.
And it isn't just about the raw numbers, though the numbers are huge. It is about who these people are.
Right.
These aren't new signups. These are the corner cases. The people with complex identity issues, the people stuck in compliance loops. The fact that they are being unblocked signals a level of technical maturity we haven't seen before.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it means the system is finally smart enough to handle the messiness of the real world.
So here is our mission for this deep dive. We're going to take this update apart line by line. We need to understand the why. Why did it take so long? I want to push on that because 5 years is a long time to wait for a green light.
A very long time.
We are going to look at the new grand total of migrated users, which has now hit a milestone that separates Pi from almost every other blockchain on Earth.
And we absolutely have to talk about the sci-fi element tucked into the second half of this report.
You mean the palm prints?
The palm prints.
Yeah.
It sounds like something at a Minority Report or maybe a spy thriller, but they are beta testing palm vein authentication. We need to really unpack what that means for privacy, for security, and potentially for the future of passwords.
And finally, for the validators, the people actually doing the work, reviewing the IDs, we finally have a concrete timeline on when you're getting paid.
A whole lot of people have been waiting for that one.
So buckle up. Let's drive right into the headline number. 2.5 million.
2.5 million pioneers.
Let's contextualize this for a second. The update says, and I'm quoting here, nearly 2.5 million pioneers who were previously blocked due to additional security and compliance checks in certain regions are now able to fully migrate to Mainnet.
Just pause on that.
Just pause there. 2.5 million people. That is not a small number.
It is massive. To put that in perspective, in the crypto world, a successful project might have 100,000 active daily users. Maybe 500,000 if they're absolutely top tier and trending.
And that's considered a huge success.
A monster success. Pi just unlocked 5 times that amount in a single update. And remember, this is a specific subset of their user base. This isn't the whole network. This is just the group that was stuck.
Right, and that is a crucial distinction. These aren't people who downloaded the app yesterday. These are people who have likely been staring at that pending screen for a year, maybe 2 years.
Or longer in some cases.
Yeah.
And that creates a very different type of user psychology.
Yeah.
These are users who have been frustrated, certainly. They've probably vented on forums, sent support tickets, maybe even threatened to quit.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, and this is the key, they didn't delete the app. They stuck around. They kept checking. So the influx of capital and activity we were about to see isn't coming from tourists or people just looking for a quick airdrop.
It's not speculative money.
No. It is coming from the diehards, the people who waited out the storm.
Now, the update mentions that for this group, this 2.5 million, the migration process has been automated. It says the system will automatically migrate their transferable balance. Walk me through the mechanics of that, because usually in crypto, nothing is automatic.
Yeah.
You have to sign transactions, you have to pay gas fees, you have to approve everything manually. Why is this different?
That is true. Usually, self-custody means self-action, not your keys, not your crypto.
Right, right.
But Pi operates a bit differently during this transition phase, from the enclosed network to the open network. Think of it like a smart contract trigger. The system has a database of these 2.5 million accounts. It runs a check.
Like a checklist.
Exactly. Condition A is the identity fully verified now. Yes. Condition B is the wallet created. Yes. Condition C is there a transferable balance. Yes.
And if all lights are green...
Then the back end triggers the migration. It moves the Pi from the pre-Mainnet ledger, which is basically a tally sheet, to the actual Mainnet blockchain wallet.
Oh, okay.
It removes the friction of the user having to log in and press a button at the exact right moment.
Which is smart, because if you make 2.5 million people try to log in on the same day to press a button, you are going to crash the servers.
Absolutely.
It would be a DDoS attack on their own infrastructure.
Exactly. It acts as load balancing. They can trickle these migrations through over hours or days without the user needing to do anything. But, and there is always a but in these technical updates, there are conditions.
There always are.
You don't just get the Pi because you exist. The text highlights two very specific requirements you have to meet to be part of this wave.
Right. I have them highlighted here. Number 1, you must be active in mining. And number 2, you must have completed the Mainnet checklist. Let's break those down. Active in mining. Does that mean I have to be mining right this second?
It implies recent activity. They haven't published the exact algorithm like must have mined in the last 7 days, but the intent is clear. They're filtering for engagement.
So they're not migrating dead accounts.
That's the idea. Imagine you have a user who did KYC 3 years ago, accumulated 1,000 Pi, and then lost their phone, forgot about crypto, and never looked back.
Yeah.
That account is essentially a ghost.
A zombie wallet.
Right. If the system automatically migrates that zombie wallet, you're bloating the mainnet ledger with dead data. You are increasing the supply of circulating Pi, but that Pi isn't actually circulating because the owner is gone.
That makes no sense.
It creates economic inefficiency. It's like printing money and immediately burying it in a hole that no one remembers the location of.
So by requiring the user to be active, they are essentially saying, raise your hand if you are still here.
Precisely. It is a liveness check for the economy, not just the identity. They want to ensure this 2.5 million influx translates into actual network velocity, people spending, holding, or utilizing apps, rather than just increasing the total accounts number on a dashboard.
And the second condition, the Mainnet checklist, that is the standard stuff, right? Creating the wallet, saving the passphrase.
It is, but you would be surprised how many people stumble there.
Yeah.
The save your passphrase step is the killer.
I can imagine.
In Web 2, if you lose your password, you click Forgot Password, get an email link, and you are back in. In Web 3, if you didn't save your passphrase at step 3 of the checklist, and the system migrates your Pi to that wallet,
It's gone.
it is locked in a digital safe that no one, not even the Palcore team, can open.
So it's a safety measure.
It is a critical safety mechanism. The system is checking, does this user actually have the keys to the car before we hand it over? If you haven't confirmed your wallet, the system cannot migrate you because there is literally nowhere to send the tokens.
So let's just be super clear here. If you are listening to this and you think you might be in that 2.5 million group, maybe you have been stuck in KYC for a year, the actionable advice here is
Go open the app.
go open the app, mine a session, and double check that your checklist is all green.
Absolutely. Don't assume it is done just because you did it in 2024. Check it again. Make sure all those boxes are ticked.
Okay, zooming out from the 2.5 million, the update drops a new global metric that I think we need to sit with. The total number of Mainnet migrated pioneers has now reached 16 million.
16 million.
I want to push on that number because in the world of social media, 16 million is fine.
Right. It's not world-breaking.
It's a mid-sized YouTuber. It's a decent Instagram account. But we aren't talking about subscribers here. We are talking about users on a layer 1 blockchain. How does 16 million compare to the giants? How does it compare to Ethereum or Bitcoin?
It dwarfs them in terms of verified individuals. This is the nuance people miss.
Okay, explain that.
If you look at Ethereum, they might report 100 million unique addresses. But I can generate 50 Ethereum addresses right now on my laptop
In a minute?
in less than a minute. I can write a script to generate 1,000. One person can be 10,000 users on Ethereum.
So those numbers are inflated by bots, by traders using multiple wallets, by dust accounts?
Exactly. It is pseudonymous. You don't know who is behind the address. That is the nature of the beast. Pi has taken the exact opposite approach.
The identity-verified blockchain.
That phrase is everything. Every single one of those 16 million migrated pioneers has passed a KYC check. They have submitted a government ID. They have done a liveness check.
So, in theory, that is 16 million unique living human beings.
That is the claim. And that makes it arguably the largest verified decentralized network on the planet. I don't think anyone else is even close to that number of KYC'd individuals on a single chain.
Why does that distinction matter, though, apart from bragging rights? Why is a verified user more valuable than an anonymous one? Because for a lot of crypto purists, anonymity is the whole point. They would say requiring ID ruins the fun.
It depends on what you're trying to build. If you want to build a casino or a dark web marketplace, anonymity is great.
Sure.
But if you want to build a financial system that integrates with the real world, or a governance system, or even a social network on the blockchain, anonymity is a bug, not a feature.
Give me an example.
Imagine a peer-to-peer marketplace like Uber or Airbnb on the blockchain. I need to know that the driver is a real person. I need to know the passenger is real. You can't build that on a purely anonymous chain without adding a centralized verification layer on top.
Right, you'd need another company to do the IDs.
And then you're not decentralized anymore. Pi has built that verification into the base layer.
It's baked into the protocol.
Exactly. And that opens up use cases that Ethereum or Solana can't easily touch. Social finance, universal basic income experiments, democratic voting.
Voting is a huge one.
Think about voting. You can't do one person, one vote on Bitcoin because I can just spin up 1 million wallets and cast 1 million votes. On Pi, with 16 million verified humans, you actually have the foundation for a digital nation.
A digital nation. That is a heavy concept.
It is. And now, that nation is getting a sudden population boom of 2.5 million more citizens, all at once.
Which brings us to the question that acts like a dark cloud over this whole celebration. We have to address the elephant in the room.
The delay.
The delay. If they can flip a switch and unblock 2.5 million people on January 30th, 2026, why couldn't they do it in 2025? Why couldn't they do it in 2024? I mean, 2.5 million people is a lot of frustration to let simmer for that long. Was this just incompetence? Was it a lack of resources? Or was it something else?
It is the question everyone asks, and it is valid. Frustration is a reasonable response. But to understand the answer, you have to understand the difference between the happy path and the corner case.
Happy path. That sounds nice. I want to be on the happy path.
We all do. In software engineering, the happy path is what happens when everything goes right. You upload your driver's license, the lighting is perfect, the text is crisp.
No glare.
No glare. Your name on the card is John Smith, and your name on the app is John Smith. The AI looks at it, says match, and boom, you are verified. That takes 10 seconds.
And that is what happened for the first 10 or 12 million people.
Right. That is the bulk of the bell curve. But then you hit the edges. You hit the messy reality of human documentation.
The update calls these corner cases.
Yes. A corner case is a situation that occurs outside of normal operating parameters. Let's look at the examples the update actually lists. Tentative KYC status, compliance checks in certain regions, name mismatches.
Let's drill into name mismatches. That sounds so simple. How hard can it be? A human can look at it and see it's the same person.
A human can, yes. But an algorithm is literal. It's rigid. Let's say your name on the app is Bill, but your passport says William. Easy for a human, hard for a strict algorithm.
Okay, that's a good one.
Now make it harder. You signed up with your name in English, but your ID is in Korean Hangul. Or you got married and changed your last name during the 3 years you were mining.
Right, so the name on the account no longer matches the name on the ID.
Or your ID card is worn out, and the OCR, the optical character recognition, reads an O as a 0.
Okay, I see. So the AI flags it as mismatch.
Right, it stops. It can't approve it because it might be a fake, but it doesn't want to reject it because it might be real. So it goes into a bucket, a manual review bucket or a special lodging bucket.
And that bucket just kept getting fuller.
And fuller.
And fuller.
Exactly.
And here is where the why did it take so long answer comes in. You can't write one piece of code to fix all those problems.
It's not one size fits all.
Not at all. You have to write a specific script for the Bill versus William people. Then you have to write a totally different script for the blurry ID people. Then another one for the sanctioned region compliance checks.
So they were basically untying a giant knot, one strand at a time.
A very complex, very high-stakes knot. And testing every strand Because, and this is critical, the text mentions the tension between allowing genuine pioneers to pass and catching bad actors.
The balancing act.
It's everything. If they rush a fix for the blurry ID group and they make the tolerance too loose, suddenly 100,000 bot accounts with fake blurry IDs slip through.
And if the bots get in?
The identity verified claim is dead. The value of the network collapses. If I am an advertiser or a developer and I find out that 20% of Pi users are bots because the core team got impatient and lowered the firewall, I am leaving.
I am taking my money and my apps elsewhere. The entire ecosystem depends on the integrity of that KYC process.
So the delay was, in a sense, a security feature.
It was the price of integrity. It is incredibly annoying for the user, I get that. But from an engineering standpoint, they chose accuracy over speed. They waited until they had the custom technical solutions, that is the phrase in the report, built and tested for these specific edge cases before opening the gates.
And yesterday, those solutions went live.
They deployed the fix for the knot.
That makes sense. It doesn't make the wait less painful for those who live through it, but it explains the logic. It wasn't that they forgot about these people. It's that fixing the problem without breaking the security took custom engineering.
Exactly. It's a sign of a mature project, honestly.
Yeah.
The easy thing would have been to just approve everyone and deal with the fallout later. The hard thing was to do it right.
Now, there is another group mentioned in this update. We have talked about the 2.5 million who were at the finish line, but there is a group at the starting line.
The 700,000?
More than 700,000 pioneers who were previously ineligible to submit KYC applications. Who are these people? If they couldn't even apply, what did they do wrong?
This is likely the group that was flagged by the initial security algorithms as high risk or suspected bot before they even uploaded a document.
So a preemptive block.
A preemptive block, yeah. Maybe they were mining from an IP address associated with a click farm. Maybe their device ID was linked to multiple accounts. Maybe they used an emulator, which is a big red flag for bots. The system basically pre-banned them. It grayed out the button.
Computer says no.
Exactly. But algorithms yield false positives. That's a fundamental truth of computer science.
Right.
Maybe you weren't a click farm. Maybe you just live in a dorm with shared Wi-Fi and 50 other people mining Pi. The system saw 50 accounts on one IP and locked everyone out.
Ouch. So innocent bystanders got caught in the bot filter.
It happens. This update says that for this group, the door is finally cracking open. Within the next few weeks, they will be able to apply.
So they get a second chance.
They get a chance to prove the algorithm wrong.
But there's a catch for them too, right? It's not a free pass.
A big one. The text warns that their applications may require additional analysis. It is not going to be an instant green check. The system is saying, okay, we will let you apply, but because you were flagged before, we are going to look at your application with a magnifying glass.
Trust, but verify, and then verify again.
Exactly. But for those 700,000 people, moving from blocked to under review is a massive psychological shift. It means they aren't banned. They have a path.
It really reinforces that philosophy they keep repeating. No pioneer left behind. It sounds like marketing speak, but when you see them spending months coding solutions for edge cases and reopening doors for flagged accounts, it feels like they actually mean it.
They are scraping the bottom of the barrel to find every last real human. They don't want to leave any legitimate value on the table.
Speaking of value and legitimacy, I want to pivot to the part of the update that made me actually stop and reread the sentence.
I know which one.
We have talked about IDs, we have talked about faces, but now Pi Network wants to look at our hands.
The palm print beta.
This feels, I don't know, intense. Pi will be testing palm print authentication. Are we entering a spy movie? Why do they need my palm?
It does have that cinematic quality, doesn't it? But functionally, it is a very logical step for a digital identity system.
Why palm prints? We already have Face ID. We have fingerprints on our phones. Why does Pi need to look at my hand?
The update gives two very specific reasons: liveness and privacy. And I think the privacy angle is actually the more interesting one.
Let's start with privacy. How is a palm more private than a face?
The text explicitly states it offers different privacy preservation, as it does not require showing a face. Think about the world we live in. Facial recognition is everywhere. It is in airports, it is on street corners, it is unlocking your phone.
Right.
And there is growing segment of the population that is suffering from what I call face fatigue, or just genuine privacy anxiety.
That is true. Your face is your public identity. If a database of faces gets hacked, that feels very personal. You can't change your face.
Exactly. And culturally, in some regions, showing your face to a camera for a digital app is considered inappropriate or intrusive.
Yeah.
But your palm, Your palm is biological, it is unique, but it is socially anonymous.
That's a good way to put it. Socially anonymous.
You can't recognize someone across the street by their palm.
I don't go around taking selfies of my palm and posting them on Instagram.
Exactly. So your palm print, specifically the vein patterns under the skin, acts as a secure identifier that doesn't expose your social identity.
Yeah.
For users who are privacy conscious, this is a massive alternative. It validates the biological you without exposing the social you.
Okay, that makes sense. It's less intrusive. But how does it work? Is it just taking a picture of the lines on my hand, like a fortune teller?
It's more sophisticated than that. While the update calls it palm print, modern systems usually look at palm veins. They use the camera, often with near-infrared light, though new AI can do it with standard cameras, to map the blood vessel patterns under your skin. Those patterns are even more unique than a fingerprint.
Wow. Which brings us to the second reason, liveness.
Right. Liveness checks are the bane of bots. A bot can fake a static image. It is getting harder to fake a 3D face, but with deepfakes and generative AI, it is getting easier every day.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen those videos of celebrities saying things they never said?
They are terrifyingly realistic.
Now imagine trying to fake a live palm. You have to fake the texture, the depth, and crucially, the blood flow. A palm vein scan is checking for hemoglobin. It is checking for life.
So it's looking for a pulse, essentially.
In a manner of speaking, that adds a significant layer of difficulty for bad actors. You can't just hold up a high-res photo of a hand. The system knows it's dead.
The update mentions using this for pioneers who already require multiple face liveness checks.
Right. So if the system is struggling to verify your face, maybe the lighting is bad, maybe you have aged significantly since your ID photo, maybe you have grown a beard, the palm acts as a second factor, a backup generator for identity.
A biological tiebreaker?
A biological tiebreaker. I like that.
But the list of future applications for this is what really caught my eye. They list account recovery, password resets, and two-factor authentication.
Account recovery is the holy grail here.
Explain that. Why is account recovery such a big deal?
In crypto, if you lose your private keys or your passphrase, you're usually done. Your money is gone. There is no forgot password button on Bitcoin.
None.
If you lose your seed phrase for your Ledger wallet, you can call the company, you can call the police, it doesn't matter. The math doesn't care.
Because there is no central bank. There is no admin with a master key.
Right. And that is terrifying for normal people. Grandma isn't going to put her life savings in a system where losing a piece of paper means bankruptcy. It's just too risky.
So it's a huge barrier to mass adoption.
The biggest.
Ah.
If Pi Network can reliably link your account to your palm print, they can theoretically build a decentralized, forgot password mechanism.
Your hand becomes your key.
Exactly. You can lose your phone, you can forget your code, you can have your house burned down with your seed phrase inside, but you cannot lose your hand well, barring tragedy.
Right.
If you can recover your wallet just by scanning your palm, you have solved the biggest usability hurdle in the history of cryptocurrency.
That is massive. It bridges the gap between the unforgiving security of blockchain and the usability of Web 2.
It does. And it reinforces that theme of identity verified. It creates a fortress of identity. If you have verified users via government ID, verified via face liveness, and now verified via palm print.
It's a three-factor biometric lock.
It's a three-factor biometric lock.
Yeah.
The confidence level in the network's integrity goes through the roof. It becomes very unattractive for scammers to try to game this system because the biological hurdles are just too high.
It is incredible to see them beta testing this now. It shows they aren't just maintaining the network. They are R&Ding new tech on top of it.
It is moving from building to optimizing and innovating. It hints at a future where we don't need passwords at all.
A passwordless future. I think we can all sign up for that. I'm tired of remembering which variation of password 123 I used for which site.
And that is the broader implication. If Pi proves this works at scale with 16 million or 50 million users, it sets a standard for the rest of the internet.
Now, speaking of standards and doing the work, we have to talk about the builders, the people who have been doing the heavy lifting of verification. The validators.
The unsung heroes of the Pi ecosystem.
These are regular users who have been reviewing redacted ID cards to help verify others. They are the human engine behind the AI. And for a long time, the question has been, when do we get paid? The update finally gives a date.
End of Q1 2026. March 2026.
That is essentially next month, or 2 months away, depending on when you were listening. It's close.
It is imminent. The update says the design is finalized, implementation is completed, and now they are testing.
Why has this taken so long? I feel like I am asking that question a lot today, but paying people seems easier than unblocking complex coding errors. It's just a transaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
User A did 5 verifications, send 5 pi.
You would think so, but the source material actually lays out a very complex set of challenges regarding the validator rewards. It is not just a flat fee, it's a complex economic calculation.
What is the complication?
First, volume. The text mentions hundreds of millions of validation tasks.
Hundreds of millions. Wow.
This data has been accumulating since 2021. That is 5 years of data. And it is not uniform data.
What, I mean,
The text notes that these tasks were done during different phases: beta, testing, bootstrapping, scaled phases. The rules for validation might have changed slightly over those years. The value of validation might have been different.
so a validation done in 2022 might be weighted differently than one done in 2025.
Exactly. And then you have the quality variable. Not all validations are equal.
Ah.
If a validator approved a fake account, should they be paid?
No, definitely not. You don't pay for bad work.
But what if they approved it because the system showed them a confusing image? What if 3 validators said yes and 1 said no? Who is right? Determining who was right, who was wrong, and who deserves what reward across hundreds of millions of data points is a massive data science problem.
It's like grading 100 million exam papers where the answer key keeps changing.
That is a great analogy. And if you get it wrong...
If you get it wrong, you destroy the trust of your workforce.
Exactly. If you underpay the validators, they quit. They stop validating. And then the whole KYC system grinds to a halt. If you overpay them, you inflate the currency supply and devalue the token for everyone else.
So it's an economic balancing act.
The text emphasizes the fairness of rewards. They have to get the math exactly right.
And they have to distribute it on the blockchain.
Which brings us back to scalability. Sending millions of transactions to millions of wallets requires a robust system architecture. You can't just use a standard send button. You need a batch distribution protocol. One bug could jam the chain or send pi to the wrong people,
Or send way too much pi to some people.
which has happened in other crypto projects. So that's why the text says testing is incredibly important.
So for the validators listening, the money is coming, the system is built. They're just stress testing the math and the pipes to make sure that when they turn the tap on in March, it flows correctly.
It is the final stretch of a marathon for them. They have been running on faith for years, and now the finish line is in sight.
So let's zoom out. We have covered a lot of ground today.
A huge amount.
We have 2.5 million people unblocked and moving to Mainnet. We have a total of 16 million verified users, making this one of the largest identity-verified networks on the planet.
We have the corner cases finally being resolved through custom coding, showing a commitment to getting everyone through.
We have 700,000 new people entering the KYC funnel in the next few weeks, people who were previously locked out entirely.
We have palm print technology being beta tested to enhance privacy and security, potentially eliminating the need for passwords in the future.
And we have the validators getting their rewards by March. It really does feel like 2026 is kicking off with a bang.
Feels like the infrastructure phase is maturing. For years, Pi has been in construction mode, digging the foundation, pouring the concrete, putting up the steel beams. It was messy, it was slow, and from the outside, it didn't look like much.
Just a number going up on a phone.
Exactly. This update feels like they're finally starting to let the people into the building in mass numbers.
It is the transition from project to economy.
Precisely. And that transition depends entirely on the users. The tech can be perfect, but if the users aren't active, it doesn't matter. That is why the requirement for mining activity for migration is so smart. It ensures the economy is alive.
So what should our listeners do right now based on this update?
If you think you're in that blocked group, go check your app, check your mainnet checklist, make sure you are mining. If you were blocked from applying, check back in a week or two. Right. And if you are a validator, hang tight, March is coming.
It is a time for action. The wait is over for millions, and for the rest, the roadmap is clear.
It really is. The Unblocking Millions update lives up to its name.
Before we sign off, I want to leave you with a thought. We talked about the palm prints. We talked about how your hand could become your login.
It is a powerful concept.
If Pi Network successfully implements this, if they can make palm prints the standard for account recovery and access, are we looking at the death of the password? And more importantly, in a world where your hand is your login, where your physical self is your digital key, what happens to the concept of anonymity on the internet? Are we moving toward a world where you can't hide behind a screen name because the screen knows exactly who you are, right down to your veins?
That is a profound question. It changes the social contract of the internet entirely. We are moving from a web of pages to a web of people.
Something to mull over as you check your mining rate. Thank you for listening to the deep dive. We'll see you on the mainnet.
Stay curious.